Hello, here we are at Buffalo Trace Park, and figured I'd go ahead and walk through some of the temp holes for the 2012 Buffalo Trace Open. So here we are on hole A. It's pretty much a straight tunnel shot that goes, looks like 390 feet. I think about the only way to play this would be a straight shot right up the middle, which is a pretty tough thing to do on this hole. Like most of the courses around here in southern Indiana, the rough is pretty thick, so you probably want to stay out of that. You also have a sidewalk on the left and then the lake a little bit further left than that. So you might be able to see the orange flag now. Which is right up here. So here was basket A position. I'll go ahead and look back at the tee. All the way down there by those trash cans. Next hole is the dam hole, which you have to throw over the water. Tee's up here. So here's hole B, and the basket is right up there, right on top of that dam. I think it's listed at 250 feet. Probably about a little over 200 to clear the water. And the water's kind of dirty and a lot of stuff growing in it, so the discs are hard to see in there, which I know because I threw one in there already. So the basket's on this hill, and you can see it's a pretty good drop off behind it. Easy rollaways. So here's the pin position. So it's only about 30 feet or so to the water. My disc is right around out there somewhere. The basket's down there, or the tee's down there by that light pole. So basket C, we go down the hill just on the other side of this tree. The basket's right up on top of the hill, which you will not be able to see from the tee. So here's TC. Basket is right up over the hill. And it's listed at 265 feet. You might have to be careful on this tee because there's a hole right down there that the basket's right there. So you have to be wary of other people playing during the tournament. This basket isn't too close to the water, but if you throw a bad shot to the left, you can definitely end up in it. Here's the water over there. Here's basket B. Basket C, I mean. And the tees right down there by the road. And you can see there's a little bit of a drop off behind the basket. So if you throw a little bit short, you're gonna have a little bit of a scary putt. Here we are, the hole D, which is the longest of the temp holes. Here's the tee. Basket's down there just right of the fence. Which I'm not sure how the OB is going to be played, but I would think inside the fence will be OB. And on the other side of the sidewalk down there might also be OB. So you definitely have to be accurate if you're going to try to go for it. They have it listed at 420 feet. Which I thought might have been a little bit shorter than how it played when I played it a few minutes ago. So here's the basket right up here, just about maybe 20 feet off the fence, maybe just another 20 feet from the sidewalk. So the tee's all the way up there by those trees. And we'll come over here to hole E, which they have listed at 300 feet. Here's the tee. You'll see the basket right down there by C's tee. And the big problem is this big group of trees right there. Which, knowing me, when I first tried to play it, I tried to throw over the top of those trees to the right. And that led to me losing another disc. Which I'll see if I can show you where it is. It's way up in the tree and very well protected. I'm assuming they're going to have over the sidewalk also OB, so you definitely got to be cautious on this hole too. There's the basket right down there. Let's see if we can see where my disc is. Looks like you can see it right up in there. I think that might be it right there. I tried for several minutes throwing rocks at it. And I think I might have just tipped it once, and all it did was put it a little bit deeper in there. So maybe that will blow out, and somebody will be nice enough to give it back to me. So here's the basket for E. Looking back at the T, right down there by the edge of the brush. A little bit of a tricky shot. Those branches are hanging low in some spots. And then I'm assuming it's going to be thick over there on the left too. So the next tee is right up here on the sidewalk. I do believe it's the only tee that you throw from a concrete surface. The other tees are natural. But I didn't find them to be too bad to tee off from. So here's F. And it's right down there on the other side of that big group of trees, which are very thick. So there's kind of two routes to go there. And I'll walk down and show you where the basket is. So the basket's down here just on the other side of these trees. Right over here. Looks like it's pretty much straight behind this group of trees if you look right back at the pad, which I think is right around that general direction. So you got two paths to get there, depending on how you throw. And here's the path you'll take to the next hole, which is a little bit of a walk. So I'll go ahead and pause the video and turn it back on when I get there. So here we are at hole G, which they have listed at 280 feet. I don't think I mentioned last hole was 250 feet. So this hole looks like a left to right hole. Basically play it straight down there and let it turn over. And the basket is right down there. There might be other lines to get there if you want to risk it, but looks like the most open is the left to right shot. You can play a little bit downhill. It actually plays downhill into kind of a valley and then a little bit uphill. Fortunately, it seems pretty open in here, so you don't have to worry about getting stuck in too thick a rough if you throw a shot into a tree or something. But his basket's definitely well protected. Got a little picnic table here if you get tired on the way. These last two holes are probably my favorite of all of these temp holes. They're the two that play in the woods. So here's basket G. And the T, I do believe, is right up there somewhere. If you follow that path right back. So now we'll walk to the very last of the temp holes. Hole H, which they have listed as the shortest at 215 feet. But I would say it's definitely not the easiest. You definitely got to shoot a narrow gap, and then it finishes hard left. So I'll walk down and show you where the basket is. As you can see, this hole definitely has some thick rough. and it looks thorny too. So be careful on the first 150 feet or so, where it's very narrow. Then once you get through that little gap, it opens up pretty well. The basket's again very well protected though. Right down here. So here's the final temp hole basket. And I'll walk over and see if I can show you the tee, which is right down there. So it comes down and then finishes hard left. And that's all the temp holes. If you walk back here, you will continue on and go right on to 6.